But Mike is so strong in the beginning of these races that Chad is going to have to work so hard to catch him if he can pass him.
And let's give Mike some credit beyond just the inheritance of the points lead because of the problem for Moto. He was fast right from the get-go in practice today at Hangtown.
Yeah, you know, it's the guys that are confident and want the championship, they go out and establish. They don't play games. And Reed has been fast in all the practices so far. And, you know, so the speed is there. It's just he needs to get out of the gate quicker and get into that pace. And we'll see if he can do it this time.
Here we go, folks. Moto 2. Here's the action. 40 riders full blast into Hangtown's first turn. Josh Grant on the inside of the 33 takes the start. Alessi off the racetrack. Tedesco is up there. Alessi third, Short, and Reed finally has a good jump for the first time this year, and more riders down in turn 2.
And Tedesco tried to do something to Alessi in turn 2, and Alessi just railed around him, just threading the needle right at the edge of the racetrack through the first and the second corner, trying to do something to Josh Grant's teammate out front. That's Cody Cooper right there. Joe Gibbs Racing having a problem, but Grant has been fast. He has hole-shotted this race and led it in each of the first motos that he's been here as a professional. Here he goes again in Moto 2 when it counts more.
Well, Grant has gone on record as saying he has no fear of Alessi. He says Alessi will go fast early. I'll really be late. Big mistake by Alessi.
Off the track again, this time actually off it, but Chad Reed is up there where he needs to be. Watching mistakes from his teammate going, okay, well, if he keeps doing that, I'm going to get him quick and go to work on the other guy.
And you got Andrew Short there in the 29, the Honda right behind Reed. So everyone in the hunt early. The players are up front. Tedesco, who is second in Moto number 1, is second here early in Moto 2. Then Alessi, Reed, Short. It's a Donnybrook. Look at Short to the inside on Reed. And he makes the pass.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Reed needs to establish himself a little quicker. I mean, Mike gave him some open doors, and he was unable to ride through it. And now Short's going to get in there and kind of mix it up a little bit. Short, a third place in that first moto. Not bad. And he looked fast. You know, the leaders didn't get away from him as much as they have in years past. Short's been consistent, maybe not fast enough. Here he's starting to show some speed.
Well, yeah, not bad has been the book on Andrew Short. Not bad, but he wants to be straight up great. Here's an opportunity here after that third in Moto 1 to try to run with Alessi, to run with Tedesco, his teammates, and the fleeing Josh Grant. This racetrack is all sorts of chewed up, and it's going to change a lot as this race goes on.
Nice rebound by Honda. Tedesco scoring no points last week. A little problem for Short down the stretch of Moto 2. Wasn't able to get any points.
Tedesco makes a few mistakes, and that allows Alessi to pull up right alongside him. It's your battle for second. Grant already out of the picture. He is sprinting early. Let's go down to Erin with a report on Jason Lawrence.
Well, guys, Jason Lawrence Day continues to get tougher, but I just noticed that Jason Lawrence actually jumped the start gate, and he actually had to stop and wait for everybody to catch up. I just found out from one of the AMA officials that they are going to black flag him, which means the day is done for Jason Lawrence.
4 motos this season, 4 motos and 0 finishes for Jason Lawrence. How about this battle for second, though? Tedesco not making it easy on Alessi this time.
It's great to see Tedesco finally up there fighting like he did a few years ago on that pro circuit team. He was so strong, won a championship indoors and out. No stranger to being in the points chase and running at the front, but it's been a tough go for him. He's had some injuries and confidence problems, then riding tight. But today, he got that out of his system in Moto 1, leading all those laps. He gave it up to Mike right here for the win, but kind of feels like, all right, I'm up front again. It's a do-over. I'm not as nervous this time. So he's showing right now. He's running a much faster pace than he's been in the past year. And Josh is trying to run away from Mike, but not enough of a gap. Mike's got him in his sights.
It's going to be a little different scenario for Alessi than usual. He's usually the one up front, the rabbit they are chasing. That's, I believe, Davey Millsaps, who is down. He had an ankle injury coming into this race. Meanwhile, Chad Reed, as he's done all season long, takes a couple laps to get going. Now he's beginning to feel it and put pressure on Andrew Short.
And Chad will go over that jump right there in this next one and glance and see Josh coming the other way, then Mike, and they'll monitor that and not let those guys get too big of a gap. And then Chad is amazing at the end of the race. He's so strong. It's not necessarily a fitness thing. I don't think that's really an issue with him. It's just a question of getting comfortable and trying to find lines that he can go fast in. You see a little bit of glare now starting to be a factor in places.
Okay, so that's Short. battling with Reed. Just in front of them is Tedesco, who's third, then Alessi second, and Josh Grant, who finished ninth in the first moto, had all sorts of problems, is leading here at Hangtown in Moto 2. And both motos count equally. You add up the points of both, and that's how you determine an overall winner. So actually Alessi with a first and a second at the moment would be your overall winner, but it's very early. You see the screen at the top. 25 minutes to go and a 30-minute plus 2-lap moto. So lots of opportunity for something to happen. And we saw moto number 1.
Well, look what's already happened in just 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
That's Jackie Short. That's Andrew Short's wife. You see the concern on her face. Short had a tough go of it at Glen Helen. He was right there in the top 5 of both motos. Then had some transmission problems in Moto 2. Lost a lot of points. But this is what Short's known for. Usually very consistent in the top 5 every single moto. And by the end of the year, score a lot of points doing that. Generally in the hunt for championships.
And there's not that many wives that can really give their husband some advice, but Jackie Short is a pretty good rider, so she can watch and be like, you know, you're just not getting on the gas soon enough. And he's got to listen to that stuff.
Okay, so he's got to deal with heat from Chad Reed, and if he gets passed by Reed, he's got to deal with the heat from Jackie when the race is over. Reed has been behind Short for about a lap now. Remember, Reed started in front of Short. Short, kid out of Colorado, made the move. And it's two aren't strangers to each other. They've had some battles before, and Short has said it has always been a goal of his to finally get enough speed to beat Chad Reed.
This is a spot where he's been gaining on him. Watch, he's going to set him up. He's going to go to that outside line and try to be on the inside in the next one. I think he overcooked that, but he's got Andrew nervous. Andrew's got to hit his lines perfect or Chad's going to get by him. Yeah, Chad had so much speed in that corner, he actually stepped over the berm. Now he's going to try an inside line, scrubbing it over that jump and trying to keep the bike low despite all the speed as they headed to the face of that thing. Now Reed hung out to dry on the outside, going to have to rebound and try and attack again. Everywhere Short goes, Reed is still finding a line to stay next to it. Well, you know, Chad can't get frustrated by not being able to make a pass because he's going so fast right now. The leaders aren't really getting away that much. So, yeah, he's still sitting fourth, but he's got the leaders in sight, and if he puts on a really good charge at the end of the race, he'll have an opportunity to try to put it on the podium or maybe even win the moto. What it comes down to for Reed here, he's getting a little desperate to make this pass because he knows Grant's super fast out front. Same thing with Alessi and Tedesco. He's got to make some moves and get toward the front of the pack. We're just getting started here at Hangtown. Stay with us on Speed. People's expectations. This battle here between Chad Reed and Andrew Short exceeding our expectations. Look at Reed putting the pressure on, David. And he had a tear off from trying to clear his vision, stuck on his hand, had to be messing up his concentration, still makes the move around the outside. Andrew was doing the right thing by trying to protect the inside, but it was so bumpy and hard-packed, he couldn't be as aggressive. And he made the pass no problem around the outside. That's a fast line, but you see how hard he had to push it to make that stick. Yeah, he just leaned that bike into that corner. So that moves Reed up a spot. Meanwhile, Mike Alessi out front, closing the gap on Josh Grant. Grant, a little mistake there at the end of that section of jump. So Grant expected to be the rider closing on Alessi as the race is concluded. Alessi has actually turned it around, and he's putting some pressure on as Reed is putting pressure on Tedesco now for third. Reed is starting to feel it now. And see, he was going to the outside right there, but there he's trying to change it up. I mean, this track has got lines everywhere, and now that he's caught Tedesco so fast, I don't think he's exactly sure where Tedesco's going to go, and trying to keep the pressure on him, but if you follow, you see there again, taking a different line. You want to keep the rider ahead of you guessing. And if you just want to make a lot of noise back there and make them worry more about you, and then it's a little bit easier to force them into a mistake. But Tedesco's holding his own pretty good so far. It's a 30-minute moto here, and 10 minutes have gone by, just past 10 minutes in fact. So Reed seems in the second half of the race to put in his best laps. Put in his best laps in the second half. The first moto did similar damage coming through the pack in a previous race at Glen Helen. So he might have more to give. The problem is these guys are battling about 8 seconds behind Alessi and Grant, who are out front. So let's see which battle materializes first. Can Reed get Tedesco? Can Alessi get Grant? Or will these two guys catch the two guys out front? It's exciting here at Hangtown. Under 10 seconds is reachable with, you know, basically just inside 19 minutes to go, plus 2 laps at the expiration of this time. When that expires, then they'll get a 2-lap board and then a white flag. Chad, oh man, nice save. He's aggressive, and Tedesco felt that. So the next time, if Chad hasn't gotten him, by the time they get back to that section, Tedesco will be guessing on, well, let's see, where do I go through here? Because Chad's obviously fast in this section.
Now, Chad Reed did not race this tour for the last 2 years. Oh, wait a minute. A little bit of smoke or steam coming off of the lower left side of the engine of Chad Reed. Now, Reed admits that that type of technique outdoors where you just pin it whatever line you're